Recently, there was a bit of panic within the Pokemon Go community because some backend code within Pokemon Go seemed to indicate that intrusive ads would be coming to the game. And Niantic was very quick to address this. They stated very directly that they have no intentions of ever adding intrusive ads to Pokemon Go. And to be honest with you, I'm very relieved that they addressed this so quickly. But I really do think it's worth a discussion to talk about how Niantic should handle ads, especially once Pokemon Go changes ownership, because Scopely Inc. is going to come in and they're going to try to monetize this game. That is without a doubt going to happen. Even though they're saying that they do not intend to change anything with Pokemon Go, I can almost guarantee you that we're going to start seeing some new monetization models, and one of those models that I'm really afraid of is how they're going to handle in-game ads. So that's something I really want to talk about, and yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So like I said at the top of this video, recently there was a bit of panic within the Pokemon Go community, especially in certain circles, because some data mined info regarding the new Pokemon Go update came out, and there was some code in there that indicated that Niantic was going to add intrusive ads. And of course, this was something that was very quickly addressed. It's very fortunate for us that Niantic has no intentions of ever adding intrusive ads into Pokemon Go, and hopefully it will stay that way, even once they change owners. I really do hope Scopely Inc. doesn't come in and just starts throwing ads all over Pokemon Go, because that will definitely hamper the experience, and I do think for what it's worth, it would completely destroy this game. And I'm going to be talking about why in this video. But first, let's talk about what intrusive ads are. Why am I so afraid of this one boogeyman coming to Pokemon Go? Well, intrusive ads are basically what it sounds like. They're advertisements that are thrown into your gameplay experience, and it's something you often do not see with major games, but it is something you will see within smaller games. Like, let's say you complete a level, and right after you complete that level, rather than going directly to the next level, you're going to be slapped with some sort of 30-second ad. And this is definitely a possibility for Pokemon Go. Like, the way that they would do it is probably like, let's say you complete a raid, and then before you get to the catch screen, they're going to throw some sort of advertisement in your face. That is one way they could add intrusive ads into Pokemon Go. Another thing could be every time you do a PvP battle, before you jump into the next battle, you have to watch a quick 15-second ad. That is what an intrusive ad would be like within Pokemon Go. It would be awful. It would be some ways to get a lot of players to no longer want to play this game. It would be just another thing that they would have to go through just to get to the stuff that they actually want. But thankfully, it does seem like Niantic is aware that something like this would be a huge detriment to the game, and that is why they completely addressed that they do not ever want to add this into Pokemon Go, and I'm very thankful for that. And I've actually talked to a lot of different developers over at Niantic over the years, whether it be through Pokemon Go Fest or just online, DMing them on Twitter, different things like that. And I can tell you right now, they are fully aware that advertisements have to be treated very lightly when it comes to Pokemon Go. They do have advertisements in this game. It's done in a very unique way. It's done in a way where you probably did not even realize you were looking at ads. And I feel like that was the right move, because ultimately it's not harming the advertisers. There's actually a lot of people who end up going to a Starbucks or they end up going to a McDonald's because of Pokemon Go. So a lot of those people who are advertising within Pokemon Go are actually getting their money's worth. But at the same time, Niantic did it in a way where it's not intrusive. It's actually beneficial for you because, let's say, for example, with McDonald's, which is one of their most recent big partnerships. They advertise McDonald's within Pokemon Go by having a whole bunch of points of interest within the game. And for the general Pokemon Go player, that is great because it's more points of interest on the map. It's more Pokestops, it's more gyms. And having more gyms and Pokestops on the map means you're going to have more items. And also, you're going to be able to get yourself additional Pokecoins because some of those McDonald's are actually gyms. And you could go there and take over the gym, you can get your Pokemon knocked out, boom, you collect yourself your daily free Pokecoins. So yeah, it's very helpful for the game. Ultimately, the way Niantic has it set up, it's a win-win for pretty much everyone all around. And I think because of that, I do think that for Scopely Inc. to come in and to completely change the revenue model behind advertisements, that's something that I would see as a huge mistake. So hopefully they don't ever do it. I really do think that we need to be vocal to Scopely Inc. to not change anything when it comes to the advertisement models within Pokemon Go, because right now it's in a bit of a Goldilocks state. I think for me as a Pokemon Go player, I really appreciate it because these advertisements are supporting Pokemon Go. They're allowing the game to continue without us having to spend boatloads of money every single day. And at the same time, they're actually benefiting me because of all the new Pokestops and gyms that I start to see in my area. Those Pokestops and gyms that are sponsored, they're the ones with the little pink dot on them. Those are the ones that are being paid for by these advertisers, by these companies. And they're the ones keeping Pokemon Go afloat. So I really do think it's important for us to appreciate the fact that when it comes to advertising in Pokemon Go, it's not egregious, it's not in your face, it's not game breaking, it's not gonna ruin your immersion in the game. I do think there's a lot of games out there who do that, and they just simply do not care about the player experience, especially around advertisements. So I really do think that them not adding intrusive ads into Pokemon Go is definitely the right move, and I'm really glad Niantic addressed it so quickly. So where do we go from here? Because like I said, Scopely Inc. is going to come in and they're definitely going to change things up. No matter what you hear from Niantic or Scopely Inc., I can almost guarantee you that it's going to be a completely different game within the next 5 years. But what are they going to do? What is something that they could change in terms of advertising in Pokemon Go that would benefit them, that would add more revenue in their pocketbooks? Well, first and foremost, I will say that I'm a huge advocate that they do not change anything when it comes to advertisements, but I really do think one of the things that they should focus on is more of the player experience. Because advertisements, at least by my experiences in the game industry, do not contribute enough to really make a game successful. Like, yeah, if you have advertisements in your game, you're definitely going to get a good cut of revenue every single day. But it's not enough to make your game a blockbuster game. Advertisements should be almost an afterthought. You should be thinking about how you could monetize different aspects of the game in a non-egregious, non-predatory way that will feel very rewarding for players, that will allow them and encourage them to want to spend money because of what they're getting. That is the direction that I hope they go. Rather than going the advertising route, the in-game advertisements route, I really hope they do things where, hey, if I do this and I enjoy it, if I spend a little bit of money, I'm going to get more enjoyment out of it, and that is an option for me as a player. That is the direction I would like them to go. There's definitely games out there who do that really well, and hopefully they could look at some of those games and kind of follow suit. Because when it comes to monetization, it's always going to be a very fine line. If you do anything to try to make money off of Pokemon Go players, it's going to be seen as either extremely negative or predatory, or it's going to be seen as something that is completely optional. And I think that's the way that players would prefer it, because there's quite a lot of players out there who just do not spend any money in the game. They do not want to. They just feel they do not feel compelled to spend any money on Pokemon Go, and that's totally fine. But there's going to be players out there who are going to be the whales. They're going to be the people who are going to spend hundreds of dollars a week. And those are the players that essentially keep the lights on when it comes to this game. The people who do not want to spend money are able to play Pokemon Go because there's players out there who do spend a lot of money. But for those players who spend a lot of money, they're definitely getting their money's worth because they're the ones that are going to have the 100% IVs. They're the ones that are going to have all the legendaries in the game. I mean, just talk to Brandon Tan. Like, he has so many 100% IV legendaries, but that's simply because he was spending thousands of dollars a week on raid passes. And that's totally understandable, and that's totally how the game works. I mean, there's going to be players out there who just simply do not care about 100% IVs. And they're not going to spend a single dime on Pokemon Go. They're just going to go off of their daily free raid passes. But there's going to be players out there who really do care about those 100% IVs, and they're the ones that are going to spend the most. So I really do think this model actually works, and it's something that is okay for pretty much every single Pokemon Go player. They give you a lot of enough freebies so that you can continue to enjoy the game, but for the hardcore players who want to get the absolute best of the best Pokemon, they could definitely get it if they spend the money. And I really do think that's the way Niantic and Scopely Inc. should go for the future of this game. Just continue doing what they're doing. That's basically my point. I just spent 10 minutes to say just that one thing. Everything that's in Pokemon Go right now works. They do not need to change the monetization. I really hate the fact that they're testing the waters with different monetization models. They really did not need to do that. Pokemon Go, as it is right now, is one of the best monetization models in the game, like in the game industry. And I really wish they would not meddle with it. They would just keep it going because it is a game designed for pretty much anyone to have a lot of fun. They do not need to lock any Pokemon behind paywalls. They do not need to, I don't know, make it so that it's incredibly difficult to get certain Pokemon unless you spend money. I really want them to just have it as a game where it's accessible to everyone. But for those who want to spend the money, they're the ones that are going to get the best of the best Pokemon. And I'm talking about IVs. Like I said, not a lot of players really care about IVs, but some players do, because it is exciting to get 100% IVs from raids and from PvP and in the wild, you know, what have you. But yeah, that's not necessarily the shared experience for every single player. So yeah, that's just really it. Like I said, I just feel like this whole issue is just around something that's not even going to be coming to the game, at least according to the Niantic, but we really have to be careful. We really do have to be suspicious and just cautiously optimistic that Scopely Inc. is going to come in and just handle everything right. Maybe they will not, but who knows? It's really going to depend on really what their aim is for Pokemon Go. But in any case, yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Are you really worried about intrusive ads and more predatory practices coming to Pokemon Go? Or just do you simply not care about it? Do you play the game casual enough where you pretty much get everything that you want without having to spend money? And if that happens to be you, I would like to know what your experiences are, so definitely share them down below. And yeah, maybe I'm completely off the cuff here, but I do think that Pokemon Go has a pretty decent monetization model right now. And maybe there's going to be players out there who will disagree with me. And if that happens to be you, definitely share your thoughts and your reasons for disagreeing with me down below as well. And yeah, thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and found it to be insightful. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Conscience channel and be a huge help to everything that I do, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon, because if you become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. And that means for stuff like remote raids in the friendship system, like opening and sending gifts. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then do go and check out my Patreon. I leave that very exclusive to just my patrons. So yeah, that's definitely something you should consider. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you're always welcome to do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. That will also be a huge help to my channel. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, and love yourself today. And I'll catch you in the next one.